VA Dimes is one of the best college football players in the world. And inside this tournament, he just won himself thousands of dollars with an explosive offense alongside a lockdown defense. If you want to learn how to get better at college football 25, we're breaking down everything he's doing right here. So this video is probably for you. Let's get into it. We got a good breakdown here with VA Dimes playing against Hightower Dior. Now, the cool thing with Hightower Dior is that he is currently the #1 player inside the cut leaderboards. You go to the head-to-head, and he's returning this kick all the way the opening kickoff. I want to say that's got to be Deshaun Jackson. I assume is it Deshaun Jackson. I could be wrong on that. I just see kick returner Jackson. That's who I'm thinking. Now, Hightower Dior returns us all the way down to the 4-yard line. Inside the 10, that's really where the red zone begins in college football, or where it starts to get tough in college football. Obviously not the technical red zone. And down here, it's tough, dude. He decides to go to the shotgun bunch and just call it inside zone. I'm going to tell you something. And again, this is me kind of backseating right here, right? He has this wide bunch. So all the way out to the right, kind of behind my face cam almost, we have this bunch. He's matched up with the receivers, though. So it's 3 wide receivers out there, and he has 3 DBs over there. I'll say this. We have a 5-man offensive line, right? Nobody else helping block. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people in the box, plus a linebacker right here, makes 6. I don't love an inside zone call right here because basic math says, let's just say this guy blocks, right? The little tango right here, block. You're going to get this guy coming free unless these guys break off, and then this guy coming free, right? I'd much rather see a read option here because what that's going to allow is for this guy to be the read key. This guy gets unblocked, so he goes downhill, he goes down, boom, boom, maybe even a kick out right here. There's a few different ways they could block this. And then just from this, you're able to leave this guy unblocked. You get a numbers advantage, right? Instead of 5 on 6, you get 5 on 5 because you're purposely leaving somebody unblocked. Hightower Dior, first and goal from the 4, though, goes inside zone. You see that backer just come totally free. He does gain maybe a couple inches, so again, you can afford to do that in that situation. But every play is so important, especially in a tournament like this where there is, I think in this specific one, there is $7,500 on the line for the winner of this game. So every play, obviously, so important. Getting 7s is huge, especially when you break off a massive run or a massive kick return like he did. He goes to the trips tight end. VA Dimes on defense right here. And again, being honest with you guys, I don't love this play call. Again, I'm backseating right here, but VA Dimes on defense here in what's called the 6-1, okay? The 6-1, we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people on line of scrimmage, plus the backer right here is going to be 7, okay? And he goes halfback base, Dior does on offense. So we're going to get something along the lines of, for this, and it's not even good alignment for a base, because what we're probably going to get is right here, boom, he's head up. This guy's going to pull, and it's not great blocking because you can get backside penetration right here. It's just not a great run because let's say if you do regular power blocking, right? Usually you'd go downhill, like down. It's just super tough. You don't have numbers right here. You don't have numbers at all. And you're going to see somebody just come free because of it. And yeah, you get backside penetration from this guy. This backer actually bailed out, but he's going to come free. You see the D tackle getting penetration, and you just had bad numbers right here. So it's just, I actually think these 2 first run calls from Dior were really, really bad. I genuinely think they are really, really bad play calls, especially he's in right here the Arizona playbook. So you have some fun things you can play around with, and things that not only just fun, but like they're high level, right? You can go speed options. You can go read options. You have some pass plays you can go touch passes, jet sweeps. And he just went 2 more basic run plays that just didn't give you a great alignment even. I feel like you lost, or you kind of lost those plays before they were snapped. Right here, he goes to the halfback direct. I don't hate this play call. It just doesn't really work out. Right, he's trying to get Stephon Diggs in here as a lead blocker, almost acting as a fullback. He just doesn't really do too much. And you get that great return, and it leads to you actually losing a couple yards, right? You got to the 4 on the return, you lose a few, and you have to settle for 3. And honestly, that's tough. Like there's a lot of this game, especially in this situation, comes down to a mental game, right? A lot of it's execution, all that good stuff, but there is a mental part of it. And you start off on such a massive high where you get that massive kick return to start. And from there, you lose 3 yards, right? And I wonder if he kind of second guesses this play call a little bit. If you got any kind of value from this video so far, consider doing me and the channel a massive favor and seeing if you're subscribed. And if you're not, If you got value, consider hitting the subscribe button. We're almost at 100,000 subscribers, and seriously, it'd mean the world to me if you helped us get there. And now, back to the video. It's tough, right? Because, you know, on first down, you think you have a look, you just don't have it. VA Dimes here on offense, he's going to run a pretty unique scheme. And we'll see this. We're actually going to get a little bit of a Manning cast style. You actually see me right here commentating next to Reggie Bush and Nick Mazesco. No Nick forever. Got to meet Reggie Bush and then Desmond Howard here. Let me move my face cam. Fortunately for this breakdown, we are going to have the Manning cast style, like little format thing here with the broadcast. We can still see the game pretty well though, so we'll be able to make do nonetheless, I believe. So we're going to see VA Dimes come out in this bunch open very consistently. Now, what this is going to do is always force there to be three. Let's see if we can actually see the entire formation right here. So it's always going to force, we have 3 wide receivers out here. You have to match them with 3 DBs, right? Boom, boom, boom. Or else it's going to open up the screen game really, really easily. Now, the other thing that this is doing, though, if we actually look at the box right here, this is actually allowing, look, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right here, right? This is begging to get ran on, in my opinion. Until Hightower Dior shows that he can stop the run, I think this is begging to get ran on. We do see a middle linebacker get brought in to split the distance, but I'm curious right here. Dimes told me going into this he wanted to run the ball, and I'm shocked that he doesn't right here on 2nd and 2. Ends up hitting a quick little out route. Massive thing. We talk about this in a lot of our videos, right? Pass leading, such a big thing. So is clicking onto receivers and going to attack the ball. Notice where this ball is getting thrown. Notice what he does right here. He is now clicked onto Diggs, and he's swerving down to attack the ball, making sure this DB right here, right where we're right here, cannot go make a play on this, right? It's protecting the ball. If you get a bad pass lead on that, and you pass lead that up, right, or maybe you don't pass lead at all, you do something a little bit wrong or something, that could be a pick. Pass leading and quick on catching is one of the best things to do on offense to take your current plays that you're already calling and make them significantly better. Now we're going to see VA Dimes audible over into... Let's see. Is he going trio? I want to say Dimes is in the Oregon offensive playbook, by the way. So he has a lot of cool stuff, but some of the best run plays and some of the best passing game at his disposal. We're going to see inside zone gets blown up by a little looper. Interesting. And we're going to get a little pause action. I forgot they had a technical timeout right here, and we had to kill time with... we had to kill time for like 20 minutes. All right, so we're back here, 2nd and 10. And we're going to see... Hightower Dior on defense in the nickel 3-3 mint. Very good defense. D-Croft also runs the same thing. We had a breakdown the other day on D-Croft. And we're going to see VA Dimes start to try to get that run game going, right? Now he's going a little up-tempo, faster pace. Something that we see Hightower Dior doing. I talk about matching these receivers out here, right? 1, 2, 3. Usually you'd match. He's going to take one of these guys who'd usually be right here, split the difference, okay? So with this defender right here splitting the difference, you can call him whatever you want. I'll call him R for Rover. This guy could be jetting out to a flat to defend an RPO. He could be blitzing. He could be dropping into a hook, right? He could be manned up. There's a lot of different things this guy can do, and I love that because it's going to help in the run game, and it's going to help defend these RPOs, these screens, and stuff like that. Really good anticipation right there from Dimes. Backside drag, backside, maybe an in route actually, right here. Notice where he throws this ball. He throws this ball. Look, square right here. Looks like he's backed, right? He's running into traffic. But if you know the routes, you play the game, you're comfortable. Look where this ball's out of the QB's hand as the defender is getting his face crossed, right? Notice where it is. This right here at this juncture is bagged. But if you have good anticipation, you know where your routes are going, you're able to lead them into the open space that they're running. And that's why I'm so big on people ask me, how do you make reads? Well, you want to attack open space, right? You want to attack the open areas of the field. And when you're making reads, you want to be looking to where, not always where your receiver is, but where he's running to, especially when you're attacking zone, right? Because zone, like especially in game, you're not going to see any kind of matching for the most part when you're playing zone. You won't see much drifting from the defensive players. Usually they're kind of in their area, so you can predict where they're going to go. We're going to see a little inside zone, looks like, from VA Dimes. He's very consistent. I've known Dimes forever. Really great dude. Shout out to his family who's doing a watch party during this too. He spoke he spoke a lot about his family, so wanted to throw that in here as well. And he told me very much he needed to get the ground game going. He wanted to. And something I was really impressed with was this is a run call right here called Duo. Okay, you can find this in the concept screen of the play calls. It's just called it's inside the power runs called Duo. And what he'll do here is he's really good about cutting this in different directions. Sometimes he'll take this out. Sometimes he'll take it right here. Obviously, defender coming. Or sometimes he can take this here. I'm curious right here. I mean, you got to run this right here, I think. But I'm curious where he actually ends up going with it. There's a chance he cuts it out. He goes in. And really good job from Hightower Dior's user on defense. So many, like people ask all the time, how do you have good run defense? Sometimes it's a user thing. Look, because on defense, you can see where the holes are developing too. Notice where Dior's user is. It's right here, right underneath this arrow. Dior sees that he has people coming right here. He knows that Dimes is a good runner. He's going to have to cut this, right? He's going to cut it this direction or this direction. So Dior, his user, is going to go plug this hole now. This is something we talk about all the time when we talk about stopping the run. This is massive. Look at that. The Dior's user, even though it's a good run from Dimes, get a 5, Dior's user is able to mug it a little bit and slow it down. That's how you have to get involved in the run game with your user. Your user is so important, especially at that second level. You can't get congested kind of in the mush. You got to be flowing to the ball. Halfback's tired right here. And he's going to be on a wheel. This is one of my favorite route combos of the game. I call this post wheel flat. And let's see, he goes wheel route, great pass lead down, possession catch, right? Holding A on Xbox, X on PlayStation, get that possession catch animation so you can really get down with the ball. By the way, if you guys like these breakdown videos where we do stuff like this instead of just always being in practice mode, let me know. Please give me feedback, comments below so we know, and we use that to help. We use what you guys say big time in making videos and what types of videos we make. Duo right here, right? This time he cuts it all the way to the right side. Then you got to be a little careful of here if you're Dimes on offense is that your halfback's tired. And he's just going to, it's going to be a ratings hit, right? It's going to be lower carrying, which is risky, but really it's going to be lower speed, lower acceleration, lower COD, and it's going to be tough. He just subbed his halfback out, I believe, which is smart. You see Dior manually moving this backer in to split the difference. Try to make sure you can't throw any kind of screens. 2nd and 7. We're going to see, yep, another duo run. This time cut to the outside. Nice little stop and go. Didn't make a miss, but I love that. The underrated thing in the run game is just totally letting up off the left stick. That's going to make your guy do a little hezzy like you saw right there. Sometimes can manipulate CPU defenders, get them kind of biting. Sometimes can make users miss. Really good little thing right there. Really good for setting up blocks as well. Notice all the time, Dimes comes out in his formation. Always going to be that bunch open. And then he's audibling from there a lot. Sometimes he'll call plays, sometimes he'll audible, but he's always coming out in the same thing. Makes him harder to predict what he's going to do. We're probably last play here. Goes a little bubble. Again, for people at one of your biggest advantages as a user defender is all these things that are tough to defend, annoying to defend, right? People always ask, people always talk about how do you defend RPOs? Right here, this guy's the read key. Read keys cannot defend RPOs. This is a RPO read bubble. This guy's bubbling. We have a read option right here. This guy's going to play the read option no matter what. So this guy right here is open, right, on his bubble. There's no one to play him. This is Dior's user. He's predicting this play, and he immediately gets out here. Now, Dior, the issue that he had here on defense is that he just didn't execute. It's an execution issue. This was great. Just got to make this tackle, right? And this is the thing in real football. You get one-on-one, if you're a defensive coordinator, you get your boys one-on-one, especially in the backfield, you just need that tackle right there. Instead, Dimes able to move forward a little bit, and second and 6 for Dimes is a massive win as compared to 2nd and 10. Able to go duo right here. Boom. Dior's user gets down just a little bit too far, and we're going to see Dimes on a 1st and goal as we head into quarter number dos. So here we go. I'm curious what we end up seeing. Might audible. Yep, he's got audible again to the duo run. Notice how much these guys like duo. Dimes calling a bunch. We saw Decroft called a ton. Duo ends up getting taken down. Favorable fall forward, hit from behind, 2nd and goal from the 4. Neither of these guys really getting under center yet for the red zone. And we see the box really stacked right here. He's going to read option. No, he might audible out of it. I don't love a pass play right here, especially you've ran the ball so well. It's just going to go back to what's worked. Duo again. Can't hate on what's worked, right? This time, though, gets... So this is where it doesn't end up working out for him. This is what I'm talking about with you have the ability to cut this run different directions, right? You go up, boom, boom. He cuts it to the left right here. Just gets blown up by actually kind of a missed block. Gets caught from behind too, but potentially you get that block. Maybe you cut it more outside. Goes hurry up, pull wider triangle after the play, and you're going to go hurry up to the line of scrimmage. Might go touch. No, this is going to be a pass. Yeah. Third and goal. Massive opportunity for a stop. Nothing really there. You see, Hightower Dior goes full coverage with the spy. Ends up pushing him out fourth and goal at the 1. I love that spy from Dior. Now, one of the things that people always kind of, I feel like, forget that a spy does is, right, it's going to mirror the quarterback. So, one, when you're playing someone like Cam Newton, this is inside of College Ultimate Team. This guy's one of the fastest players on the field. Can't remember his speed. Very, very fast. So, you have a spy from one of these guys. Like, I don't know who, but you get an athlete right here. He's going to mirror the quarterback, but also he's going to play a little coverage too. And what I mean by that is watch the spy. Where is he? So spy is right here in the middle. Is actually a D end who, I don't know who it is, but he's athletic. He's going to help defend drags and ins and stuff like that. And the spy is why Dimes wasn't able to score right there. Now, fourth and goal for the 1. Most people go for this every single time. He is going to go for it as well right here. Don't blame him. There is, maybe an argument to kick potentially just because you get ball at half. But I think, especially when you are a run type of guy, which Dimes very much is, he wants to run the rock. I think you run this ball. I think you run this ball 100%. If you don't get it, you don't get it. Whatever. We're gonna see. He's running out of time though. You got to burn timeout. He burns that timeout. Hate burning timeouts, but you got to. Dimes is, he's JMU in this, so he is down to just one timeout here. Halves are important, right? End of halves are very important. Now you kind of lose a little bit of control of the clock potentially, which could cost you points as we get closer and closer to the end of the half. Big play right here. Dior in the goal line defense. So I don't love it. I get it. I don't love it. And again, this is hindsight, I guess, where we go speed option. We actually flip the speed option. So usually the speed option be going this way, right? He flips it. So this halfback actually has to trail behind. You just don't get this halfback getting out very well. And so what Dimes ends up trying to do is take the speed option, but just cut it right up the middle, which is a good strategy against certain defenses. I don't love the cut this up the middle strategy against goal line because, again, we have nose, we have a 3-tech, 2 backers. We have 2 sevens out here, and they're all probably slanting in. So it's just going to be tough to cut this in. Again, he shifts into, but still, it's just tough. Those backers blitzed. I love the speed option. I wish he had actually just called a regular speed option, went to the halfback side towards the wide side, so I should just flip the formation. But again, if you're okay with that, if you're Dimes, because of the fact that you do have Dior in a pretty tough spot here on 1st and 10 from his own 2, Dior tries a little RPO flat, super predetermined read right there. And this, it's scary to be in this situation, but if we watch this, truth be told, if you're gonna call this play as a read option flat, this guy's blocking, you gotta make this read that this guy's here, right? And now you're just making a read option read between, handoff keeper, and this is a keeper. Now it is a risky play if you keep it because something weird could happen. But one thing I will say is that Dior does highball that, holding left bumper, which makes it not impossible to intercept, but very hard to intercept. It's just high balls are very, very tough to intercept in this game. And we are just getting a crazy camera angle right here. Jeez. We are getting a nuts camera angle. We're seeing actually Dimes' point of view. Corner route. Right here. I actually love the play call. So we go motion corner route. Dimes, I believe he audibles in his zone cover. So I think this guy's deep blue. This guy's in a flat. And this guy's on a corner route. He just throws the corner too soon. Dior does. Because look, if we watch, it's hard to see. He's right behind the goalpost, but he's running to an open area, but he's already throwing it. Maybe if you highball it, it gets over this defender, but he doesn't. That defender is able to get up, swat it. And again, it's tough because you're in that situation. It's so, you almost have to, I've always talked to people, whenever I've prepared for tournaments and really, really prepared, I'm a big believer in that you have to have certain situational plays for, goal line, 10-yard line, 15-yard line, and then on your own 2, on your own 1, on your own 3. Those are all the same play. But you almost need a specific play or 2 that you want to go to just to get yourself to the 5. Because you got the 5-yard line, you have some breathing room. You got your own 2. It's scary because you don't want a safety. 2 passes, both touched by the defense so far. Pressure. And I just think, man, just talk about just a terrible drive from Dior. Just a really, really bad drive from Dior. Gets picked off right there. return route he tries going to, but the return route wasn't really complimented by anything. Bryce Thornton with an easy, I mean, one of the shortest pick sixes I've ever seen in a game worth this much ever. And just like that, Dimes, he gets stopped on 4th and goal, leads to really the most ideal situation ever where you end up getting that stop right back and a pick six. I mean, great defense from Dimes. I'll say if you're Dior, we've seen him have the ball twice now and actually not gain a single yard. Now, they're both weird situations. You never really game plan for this, where your first drive starts at their 5 or their 4, and then your next drive starts at your own 3. But in a game like this, this is Dior's first time ever on a stage like this, and it's like getting for me, it's just from how I am, getting into a rhythm is so important, especially as the game gets later on, right? Just having that rhythm from you've established. You actually haven't, we're gonna hit halftime soon, and Dior hasn't actually played offense against Dimes' open field, right? We haven't played any open field yet, and it could be tough, man. It's something you don't want to be in. It's a situation that you really don't want to be in, right? We do have Dior finally on offense here. This is his first like real drive. So 3rd and 1, he gets down to. It's just like, man, it's just tough. I think it's just tough. Let's go low motion. He is definitely calling a lot of his playbook. Quick throw. So I'll say something about this. I like this idea. He has this halfback. We'll see it in a second. See if we get a zoom out angle. So he has this halfback on a wheel, and he's trying to throw him right here to out leverage this flat defender because this guy's going out here. The issue from Dior here is that because this guy's on a wheel, he's going to cut up, and this guy's going to be closer. If this guy was on a flat route, he'd have leverage outside, and you can actually see this happen in real time. Boom. See what I'm saying? You can see how that pass leads up instead of outside. It goes up because this is a wheel route. Had it been a flat, he would have been able to throw it outside and be able to catch it. Now we're on Dior's first actual drive, and within the first 4 plays now, this is play number 4, on a 4th and 1. Just struggling on offense. One of the things he told me that I found interesting before this when I interviewed some of the players was he wasn't 100% sure what playbook he was going to use, and he loved to change his playbook. A nice little dot return route. He loved to change his playbook, and I'll be honest, I don't love that. I mean, I love, being a diverse player, knowing a lot of different things, being comfortable in a lot of different things, but it's like the idea of like a jack of all trades is a master of none. And like right now, I feel like he's struggling on offense big time. Right? Good to get that first down, though. I believe that's his first down this game. Boom. Able to get a potential big play, just overthrows it. That's definitely tough in this situation. Right? That's definitely, I like that idea, going 5 wide. We're going to see, again, both guys audibling a lot. You're going to see him go into the tray open, halfback strong here, little auto motion. Halfback's tired. Something to note. Hands on his hips. You can kind of see that hunched over. Halfback's definitely tired. I like this route combo. Halfback's just going to block. Goes up the seam. Able to get it this time. Why is this open? So, Dimes in a cover 3. This guy's going to bail. And we have high safety rolling like this to the middle third. So it's something along the lines of this. High safety is rolling. So, boom, seam streak. It's a tough throw. Got to get a good pass lead. We can watch this again. He's going to, though. Bang, almost a play. Good pass lead. Able to catch it in stride. Gets a good throw. Finally now. And to me, this is where you get into rhythm, right? You start like, okay, here we go. I don't love the hurry up from him because I think you should try playing the clock game a little bit here. Take this to a 2-minute warning. Dimes has no timeouts, or has 1 timeout. So really, you should, if you're Dior, be able to make sure that Dimes does not get the ball back. But I mean, you can't argue with the touchdown either. Playmaker, that's right stick, raw outside the pocket. Use that right stick, playmaker, somebody. A little over adjusting from Dimes right there. And Cam Newton makes the throw on the run. Yeah, just no deep zone integrity on the right side. So Dior, and that's from Dimes' point of view, someone struggling that much on offense, especially like they're obviously not able to get into a rhythm, right? You have to keep making them work. And then within 2 plays, you let up, what was that, 60, 70 yards, right? The seam streak, and then that play. It's just like, it's so much easier said than done. And, you're doing things for certain reasons. You think you see something, whatever. but you have your opponent in a situation where they just can't do anything. They can't feel comfortable at all. Two big plays. Dior takes the lead when he hasn't played very good. Now the thing here, we have Dior on defense. He's now going to be in the 3-4 odd. So we get one-on-one. We have 1, 2, and then there's an outside wide receiver, an outside corner that we can't see off the screen. And then we are just totally stacking the box. This is a very aggressive style defense. I'm curious if he bluffs it or not. And we're going to see a little audible here from Dimes into the bunch quads open, potentially a toss or a duo. And you see, even from this, Dimes is calling duo. Duo is so freaking good in this game. You want to be calling a lot of duo as, in my opinion, like your main run if you can get it in your playbook. Ideally, it's from shotgun. It's a lot better, in my opinion, but under center also works. And Dimes gets ball at half. So if you're Dimes, you have this potential. Now, with only one timeout, you got to be a little bit more aware of the clock. But you have this potential if you're Dimes to score and then immediately get the ball back, score again, and take a big lead. Risky throw up top, catches it inbounds, able to get it. So gets out of bounds right there. Both players able to roll outside the pocket a good amount. I think at this point, you almost want to start going QB spy or contain. You can contain with decent, if you get decent leverage, double tap the right bumper. One thing people don't realize about contains is you have to have leverage, right? So let's say we have this guy in a contain. We double tap right bumper. He's going to go from a blitz angle like this into a blitz angle that looks kind of like this, okay? It's tough for this guy to actually do this contain purely from leverage, right? Because 78 is just going to block him. So it's tough to get that. You can, it's just not consistent. Whereas if you look at this guy, very easy for him to contain if he's blocked by 75. Now, if 17 blocks him, harder to contain, right? So a lot of times I'll get people telling me that contains don't work very well. And, sometimes they can be a little buggy. Sometimes they're not the best, especially there's a very athletic quarterback and your contains aren't athletes. But there's a big thing here with just with leverage, right? Leverage is a massive, massive thing. Yeah, so Dimes milks this down underneath a minute 25 now. One time out again. Second and 1. Gotta assume he's going to run the ball again. And this is just where, wow. I mean, that was a lot of stuff. So this is where you see the advantage on defense of doing a front like this, especially against a run game where you're going to get guys coming free. And you see the advantage on offense of if you could just get past this first wave, right? This is why blitzing against the run is sometimes scary because you get past that first wave. Boom. You get one-on-ones on the outside. Now, right here, Dior is blessed that this dude went straight dog and ended up containing the run. It's almost, I mean, that's scary. That's very, very scary. That could easily be a massive one-play touchdown. 35-yard rush. Ends up stopping him, though. And, there's a slightest of arguments where if you're Dior, you wanted VA Dimes to score super fast so you get the ball back. But good gap shoot right there. This is another thing that, I love seeing this stuff because we get to see a lot of stuff we talk about in videos come in person where Dior starts on this side, loops around the center, able to blow up this run. Really good job. And at this point in the game, you can start predicting tendencies, right? You know that Dimes wants to run the ball a lot, right? Especially if you did any kind of scouting into this game, any kind of preparation. And now we get 1st and 10. He's probably going to run the ball, get into your gap shoot situation where you feel really comfortable, and you know what run he's going to call, blows it up, gets Dimes into a situation where he's not as comfortable with. And again, with that one timeout, there's a chance Dimes does something stupid clockwise where he might blow an opportunity. 2nd and 11. Quick wheel. That's Dimes' favorite route combo in this game. It's one that I'm a big fan of too. It's always something along the lines of this right here. We have a flat route from somebody. I believe it's X right here, but you just want a flat route on this side. And then you want a wheel attacking the same side as a flat. And it's going to really open up the short seam. Okay. Now, you could do this a few different ways you could do this. For example, one route combo people feel free to screenshot, is streak right here. And you do this from a lot of formations. Post or crosser, we'll say drag, flat, wheel. Right? That's going to do a great job of just attacking the middle of the field. It's one of the most popular route combos every single year. Very good against zone. Can beat man as well pretty well. He just goes flood to the right. Ends up having that wheel as well. Good route. He does get the first. Okay, which is massive, obviously. That's going to stop the clock for a second until they get reset. You're going to be able to get that audible off for underneath 20, or now at 25 seconds. Duo, I don't love the duo call, but it works, and he's able to I feel like he was a little aggressive staying in bounds right there. I don't love I think he really should have just got out of bounds. There he uses that timeout, and this is where you could do something stupid if you're Dimes, and you cannot afford to. You want the touchdown, but you can't afford to accidentally somehow milk yourself, right? Especially like a sack right here, and he is going to be passing. Route combo's cool. Zig got it. That clock will stop here with the first down, and we're gonna go. I mean, you could actually call play. He might spike, but you could call play, or he might just kick. You definitely could. I actually think you spike right here, and you have a play that you. I think you spike right there. Boom, got it, and now take us to the half. So Dimes does a really good job of just getting downfield before half. Great clock. I think clock management could have been slightly better, but overall, you can't be too upset with the result if you're Dimes because you're tied at half, and and you are getting ball right here at half. All right, so main and cast style is done now. We have Dimes on offense. He's going to start first and 10 with a pass, a little tendency breaker, and you actually see a full-out cover zero blitz from Hightower Dior. I think with the intention of trying to blow up any kind of run, but ends up actually bagging the pass concept too. So we're going to throw that ball away. Still no contain, so we're seeing Cam Newton still get outside the pocket. I actually think, dude, right, a scouting report for beating Dimes is that you want him in these passing situations. You want him passing from the pocket. Now, so far, he's done a good job of that, but if you could choose what Dimes is going to do against you, you don't really want Dimes running the ball. He's a good runner. He's not as good at passing. So one of the things that makes passing a little bit easier for people is being able to roll out and really cut the field in half, be able to make plays with your legs, and you've seen Dimes kind of do that. I would love to see Dior do a little containing right here, right? Maybe you send a loop blitz at him, maybe you don't, something like this. But just keep Dimes in the pocket and make him consistently dot you from there, right? 3rd and 5. Dimes could be doing anything right here. And you see those contains, and that is what I'm getting at. Where Dimes, again, like to make it to this stage, top 4 player in the world, obviously a good passer. But when it comes to, everybody has their strengths and weaknesses, Dimes isn't as great of a passer. And we see right here, a little predetermined read. This outside linebacker starter right here, drop back, is going to actually move in with him. That's either a vert or seam flat. I'm not sure. Dimes throws that pick, right? And so that's like where if you're Dior, because you want to keep him in the pocket, you want to make things a little bit tougher on him and let him kind of hurt himself sometimes in the pass game. Because really, like, is that good defense by Dior? Yes, but it was definitely an unforced error from Dimes where he didn't have to throw that ball. He wasn't under pressure. He wasn't really baited. Gonna throw that ball away. Dimes actually sends a pressure from 6-1 right there. Always he's coming out in this 6-1 defense. A lot of times he's just sending 4 people at the quarterback. So he's going to drop those outside backers into zones. But you always have the threat. That's why I love defenses that kind of at least have this threat where, you got 6 people across the line, middle linebacker. You always have the threat of just sending everybody at the QB. You don't have to, but you always have the threat of it, and the offense has to be worried about it. Big deal right here is that he is man aligned, okay? And so when we see this motion out, we're going to see this is one of the best ways to beat like a man aligned defense that's pressed at the line of scrimmage, right? We have 6 people here. Then we have man up or man align, man align, man align outside your screen on the outside wide receiver. Then on the other side, behind my face cam, we got 1-on-1. So who's on this tight end? Who's on this guy? Is it him? Because he's in bad alignment to be manned up. Is it the user? Because this is a tough play, right? And one of the best things in football that pretty much every offensive coordinator ever would take is 1-on-1 with a backer on your tight end if you have a good tight end, right? Because start thinking about this. Corner route, boom, 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 or just a streak. And it's like, that's what you want. We saw a missed overthrow earlier with that. Corner route ends up cooking, ends up getting back over the middle, though. Really good eyes. I love that. I think this is where Dior starting to show he's comfortable. I think that drag is a little bit of a testament to like being more comfortable in the game. I think immediately his eyes went right and went back left middle. I love that. Now we're gonna get that same thing, this route combo. We gotta watch out for this tight end seam. He ends up, and that's a shot. Like again, I don't love the throw because I think that was covered, but that's a shot a lot of people are fine with where you get that tight end one-on-one with the backer. Backer's back is turned to the ball. One-on-one, people like that, right? And we're gonna go 5 wide to the wide side of the field, and probably gonna see a little smart routed out route, right? Custom stemmed up out and pressure just off that right edge. Really good job. One of the things is, right, sometimes if you're a defensive player, you know that when they go 5 wide, especially you're in a defense like this, very compressed, you have issues defending the sidelines, right? Defending these sidelines, you just don't have personnel to get all the way over here across the board. So what can you do? You could just blitz them, right? You can say, you know what, dude, I'm sending everybody, and good luck. You know what Dimes does right here? Dimes, I think he send 6? Yeah, he sends 6. Guy comes free off the right edge. He gave up 2 touchdowns, but he blitzed. And sometimes that's just what happens. Now, 3rd and 14. Dior's going to go a little turbo, a little hurry up. Going to check into 5 wide. It's just a tough spot. Nothing really there. I think what might have thrown a pick, too, to that deep middle blue. Had that ball gotten off. And Dior just going to settle for 3. We have a 13-10 ball game. 3:42. Dimes is on offense. Now, there is an argument here. There's 9 minutes left in this game. You're on your own 18. You could clock this. Like, I've seen Dimes clock. Now, if you're Dior, if he wants to try clocking, you let him try. But I'm curious if that goes through Dimes' mind here at all. We have 2nd and 6, right? And that 1st and 10, that run play, that's where you almost, man, it's tough. You almost want to sell out for that 1st and 10 against Dimes. He's shown he'll pass a couple times, but I don't know. I think you're willing to run, or I think you're willing to sell out to that. And Dimes, I mean, whenever you're playing a runner, right? And it's not like this when you're playing passers. Whenever you're playing a runner, your number one thing, in my opinion, there's 2 things, right? Because I think the second part of this is massive. Because the first part's obvious. First part, gear up. You got to stop the run. You got to put them in situations where they have to pass, where they know they can't run the ball. Okay, that's number 1 against a runner, and like, you really got to be intentional about it every single down. Number 2 is that when they pass in the pass game, they have to work, right? Because a lot of people, what they'll do when they're gearing up to stop a runner is they'll do stupid stuff where, like, they'll blitz their outside corners every play. They'll always be super aggressive with their safeties, which there's a time and place for that. And you could even use your safety and be aggressive with them, but you got to be aware that they could pass. And when they do pass, you got to have integrity in the pass game. That's where I think a lot of people have issues when it comes to stopping runners is, most runners can't pass the ball super well. So, and it's just fact, year after year, I've seen this. I mean, and there's a good run right there. Another great run. But it's been a thing for years. I've been doing this for a very long time now, and very few runners can pass the ball consistently at a high clip. So you have to make them take away the run game, then make them work in the pass game. Make them work. Right here, Dimes just toting the pill, doing basically whatever he wants. Probably a duo run right here, I'd assume. Yeah, we see the run blocking setting up. Let's see, he's going to take this duo. This time cuts it, just stays inside with it. All left stick right there. Another really good gain. And man, if you're Dior, you knew going into this you were going to play Dimes. You've had a couple of good gap shoots. I don't know. The issue I have with 3-4 odd here is that there's just so much potential for this to go boop like that. We almost saw that earlier. Let's see. The motion. He's going to pass. So Dimes going to go to a max pro setup. Right here, max pro is when you block your tight end and your halfback. So you have 700. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And he's predicting that Dior is in one of 2 things. Either Dior's in man coverage, which this looks like man coverage, just the way this guy followed and just the way these guys are lined up. So zig route will cook man, slant will cook man, and Dimes is also predicting that this fade, that there's something going on the right side where he's being a little too aggressive on the right side potentially and not having deep zone integrity. I'm curious if he takes, oh, he took that fade away. Okay. Went to a little baby out. And really good job from Dior getting a switch stick out to the left side here, making sure that zig, yeah, he didn't even switch it. He was using this outside corner to Gene and actually bagged the zig in man coverage because he's using it. Interesting user. And ends up working out, actually. Most people would use her a middle backer. Okay. He did do that earlier, though, too. I guess he actually likes doing that. Interesting. gets Dimes on 3rd and 3. I almost like question if that's Dimes being a little bit too cute on 2nd and short, but 2nd and short is one of those downs you can afford to be a little cute on. Now 3rd and 3, I think I just saw him. Did he just go touch pass? Okay, no, I saw that wrong. Okay, I was gonna say like, dude, go back to what's working. Even right here, I like to see him go back to a duo. It's worked every time. Like, and right there makes a Dimes ends up calling a hot route underneath 5 seconds left on the play clock. That will trigger a false start the majority of time in College Football 25. That's a difference from College Football to Madden. That's one of the kind of a bigger difference pre-play is that you can't make hot routes within 5 seconds in college football, or it's likely you'll get a false start. Now we're gonna do a little trail concept here on the right side. Quick out route, really good read, really good job. And this is where sometimes a lot of people who struggle, who aren't great passers, they don't do a good job of hitting like underneath, especially underneath sidelines. His eyes immediately get right here, sees this route getting open, hits it very fast. Good job by Dimes. Very, very good. Go here again. Watch it back. I like this concept over the middle. It wasn't there, but yeah, really good job. Gets him out of a little bit of a situation that he doesn't want to be in on 3rd and 8 and gets him to a 1st and 10. Let's see what he has for the red zone. Oregon playbook, so he has some speed out. I'm surprised he doesn't go some kind of speed option here. Goes bubble instead. And that's where, if you're Dior, you're a little upset by that. You need that tackle. It's good defense. One-on-one. You could have made that tackle for a gain of 2. Instead, Dimes gets that 1st and goal down to the 3. Gonna go duo right here. Gap is shot. I love that. Just use the high safety. Get in there. I mean, again, to a certain extent, the run game is a numbers game, right? And so you have 7 in the box. Get that safety in there. That's 8. There's not enough people to block you. Good job. I love that gap shoot. And you want to, in that situation, I think you super commit. She did. Dime's going to come out in I-form tight. Haven't seen this yet. So see what Dior has on defense. Little duo left side touchdown. I believe that was 26 duo, that play's called. I could be wrong on that. But, yeah, easy touchdown. Nowhere. Yeah. Dior only down 4 points, though. 5.5 minutes left in this game. He's in the wide bunch right here. These wide formations are going to be tough to pass off, so I'm curious what he actually has. Has a few different things, but then this is just, this is, I get it. Like, I mean, it's a good pass lead on it. The ball's just too far downfield. So he tried rolling out, playmakering this. See, I hate this because, like, you kind of have it, like, you have it right here, and then you even have this guy in this area, right? But gets a little bit greedy, gonna roll out a little bit more, playmaker this guy up. And just when you playmaker those guys up, sometimes they go a little bit too far downfield. And, yeah, it just went too far downfield and gets picked off by, I believe that was I almost want to say I was a man coverage defender coming back, but it doesn't really matter. And I mean, now if you're Dimes, I mean, what a beautiful spot you're in. Notice on defense, we can actually see his user right here. So, and he's going to move that guy out. Is he still going to use him? No, he's not. He's going to use the high safety. I think you got to sell out run right here. He does. That's where I'm in. So this is just a thing, right? Where you have so many people in the box, right? Boom, boom, boom. 7 people, 8 people now. All these guys get caught up in the mush on the inside. Essentially, think of like a giant wall sealing all these guys off. Cut outside. Get an opportunity for a massive gain. This is where having good run stick is massive. And again, he's just using all left stick to do that. Boom, see that wall. All 7 of those defenders just become irrelevant. Then it's just kind of a foot race. Unfortunately for Dimes here, that play clock is a second behind, or in front of, I guess, the game clock. So he does have to call one more play to get us into the 4th quarter. And if you're Dimes here, clock is important, but the most important thing is to score 7. Go up 2 scores in the 4th quarter, your win probability goes up so much. Great gap shoot. I love that from Dior, able to shoot it very, very well. Get Dimes behind the chains a little bit. Force a 2nd and 13, where Dimes, he might consider passing, or you just set yourself up to get an actual stop. Do not snap this ball, though. Take us to the 4th. So 2nd and 13, we're going to see a little motion. Nope, fake motion. And Dimes going for a little bit of a gadget play. Not there, though. And that run gets blown up as well. And we're going to see 3rd and 14 now. So if you're Dior, this is what you want dimes to be in. You like, here we go. Dimes have been running all over you, back-to-back stuffs, 3rd and 14. We got, I think, a couple of things. We got a one. We've seen now that Dimes loves this wheel. Okay. And not only that, not only does Dimes love it, but this is a popular thing to do out of these formations. Right? It's very popular. On top of that, Dimes loves to roll out. Right? He's rolled out numerous times and you made a few big plays. So we got to contain. I think we got to do something, either a vert hook on this left side. So we want these contains. And then we want either a vert hook over here from, we don't really have a good position to do it from. Ideally, the slot corner be over here. Or we need to man this halfback up, have some deep zone integrity, something like this, to be able to make sure you can't throw this halfback. But you also got to be aware of a deep out route as well. So, I mean, it's a tough spot to be in. It really is. Let's see what he's able to do, though. Halfback on that wheel. And so, and that's where I'm just like, Dior's either overthinking, he's messing up a jump blowing coverage, but not only do we not have this halfback manned up, right, but we have, I mean, it's just daylight, right? This is an easy read for, like, this is, and when you call this play, this is the route you want. So in terms of making dimes work, you don't do it. Great job. I think great job containing, right? Good, decent pressure, but this kind of blown coverage made it really easy for dimes to not even have to get off that kind of first read, that first look, because that's where you're looking. You're able to see the open grass, easy touchdown. Dior, though, 3 timeouts. He is the #1 player on the ladders. He has an insane record. I think the record was like 1,800 and 300 or something like that. So, like, very, very good. Been in this situation, I'm sure, numerous times, have found ways to win. But 1st and 10, down 11. And the biggest thing that's an issue for me with trying to, like, predict him to be able to come back is he's just struggled on offense, I feel like. He's made a lot of mistakes. Rolls up the middle or takes off up the middle. Big gain. And you gotta, you have time. You really do. And obviously scoring is the most important thing. But we gotta play some urgency, and that's what he's doing right here. Snaps it again. Let's see. Dimes not sending any kind of pressure. I'd actually like to, genuinely, in this situation for me, especially as he almost looks like he's starting to get, like, Dior might be kind of comfortable in this up-tempo thing. You ever seen, like, it happens in the NFL all the time, I feel like, where an offense, like, struggles, but then they go up-tempo for a 2-minute drill and they just move the ball down the field? Kind of feel like that's what's happening right now with Dior. But there's a bag. Throws that away. Okay. You know what I'm saying? That almost was what it felt like. As a defense, sometimes in that situation, that's where you almost just, like, flip a switch and you go to something you haven't really done yet that you feel really good in. I feel like a lot of people hear that, do something you haven't done yet, and they're like, let me call something random. Like, no, you got to be comfortable in it. But maybe a little change up. Like, I like to see pressure. And that's what he does. Pressure comes off the left side. And actually, this play's bagged. So I know he catches it. But let me tell you why this play's bagged. So pressure comes free. Who messes up? This is all user. This is genuinely Dimes' fault. Sending pressure, right? All the guys are coming. One-on-one right here. This Dimes has this anything crossing this right side with this user right here in the middle of the mic. And if we watch, the user just doesn't commit very hard, right? Kind of plays over top, a little bit more conservative, gets his face crossed. So, genuinely, that play was bad. It's a great defensive call. Execution's the issue. And it's a big thing I think sometimes people don't always realize. It's not always play call. Execution be a thing. So, we have Dior moving the ball down the field now, going a little flood concept to the right. Quick out route to the left, though. Love that. So something to keep in mind leverage-wise, right? This guy is irrelevant in coverage to the sideline, right? There's no way he can get out there in time. So we get man-on-man. Well, you know what's super unlikely? If this guy's man-on-man on him, super unlikely he can play a quick out route, right? Or if he's in a deep zone, obviously can't. But you're able to play little games right here. Dior doing a good job of taking advantage of that in this situation. We haven't seen him do this all game. Goes quick out. I love that. And able to get out of bounds with the gain of like 11. Goes hurry up still. Stops the clock. 3:45. So really, really favorable spot. I mean, not fair. Like, still bad spot, but you get what I'm saying. Like, he's doing everything right on this drive right now, I feel like. Dimes still in that 6-1. Just sending. I like the contains. Goes. This is bad. I don't really know. I think he meant to throw corner route. Unquestionable on that even. I mean, that corner route, I don't know if he could have thrown it because of the switch stick. Just gets an ag. And sometimes you have to get lucky. I don't really know else. I don't know what else to say. Sometimes you just got to get lucky. And Dimes, or I'm sorry, Dior gets lucky. Down 5, he's got to go for 2. This is a massive, massive thing. This decides whether or not he needs 7 or he needs 3 if he's able to get a stop and get the ball back, maybe an onside. 3:40 left in this game. Trips tight end goes quick snap. Slant. No. Nope. And all he's looking for right there, I think he's going to get tackled. This little quick snap slant. Hoping to get inside leverage here. And he actually does. It's kind of a weird bump that led to a bad pass lead. And picked off. So he opted to kick deep, which I don't hate the idea of kicking deep. You just get an actual stop. And you're playing against somebody who's ran the ball very well. 1st and 10, I think it's got to be an absolute sellout for the run. And ends up tackling for a gain of 5. And that's just where, like, Dior doesn't have a great answer for this duo. He's having issues getting the backfield with it. And when he has, Dimes does such a good job, especially cutting it to the right outside, where it's been tough for him to ever lose too much yardage on this. He's had a couple good gap shoots. I'm surprised Dior hasn't tried to go back to. He's opted instead to go for this overload style of defense with 3-4 odd versus everybody in the box. Hasn't worked out super well. And we'll see. What I'd like to see here genuinely from Dior, and again, he gets a stop right there, so whatever, is you start right here with your user, you start right here, and at this point, you know where Dimes is trying to go, right? If he runs this ball, he's cutting it outside very consistently because you have backers. This inside run's blown up. A, B, and C gaps are blown. Right here, though, cutting it out, I like to see user, loop, get a one-on-one. Because what's going to happen is, block right here, blocks right, this guy's going to go down, this guy's going to go down. When he cuts this out, you're usually going to get one-on-one right here at the point of attack, and that's how you can get that stop. Instead, what happens right here, though, and he kind of goes out there with his user, but then fights inside. That's scary. Gets the tackle. Scary, though. Works out, though. So, 3rd and 8. You got another situation. If you're okay. You're like, Dimes, you got to pass the ball. You see Dior switch into the 3-3-5 mint. Probably going to send some kind of loop, a little contain action. And at this point, we gotta see this coming. He's got to beat us some other way besides this halfback on a wheel. He has to beat us some other way. Some other way. Cannot be a halfback on a wheel. Can't be a scramble. Something else. And he does a good job. He actually mans up that halfback and look, ends up getting a bag. So really good job by Dior of adjusting. This is just tough, man. Genuinely. This is just tough. I don't know what else to say other than this is just tough. Great stick talk by Dimes. Only thing I would say here, and I don't even know if a contain would have happened on the left side. I mean, it should have, though, is I think you contain. And you could tell he didn't contain because on the right side, this guy's not in contain. Now, this guy does get double teamed. But had he contained, he might end up holding contain right here. It's just tough. It's just tough. Dimes technically has a touchdown over top, but it's just a hard throw to make, especially under pressure. And, yeah, the late switch stick off. Accidental switch stick by Dior. 1st down by Dimes. I mean, great job. Wow. Genuinely a great job. We'll see. Dimes going to the duo. You got to know what's coming right here. That high safety. We got to loop him to the right. Trying to shoot it up. Yeah, and he kind of does. And ends up blowing it up. Ends up taking it up the middle, blowing it up. So, works out. That game clock is just ahead of... Yeah, so we should hit the 2-minute warning. Dimes should not snap this ball. Do not snap it, Dimes. Do not. Take it to the 2. Both players got all tray timeouts. If you are Dimes, you're about 2-ish 1st downs away from winning this game. Goes to a run he hasn't called yet, which was that read option. I mean, the duo wasn't working a ton for him maybe the last couple of times. Still a little riskier play. And not risky, but like just lower percentage, I feel like. Just because the duo has been so good for him. And now Dior, for the first time all game, going to go into the double mug. And immediately, Dimes to go 5 wide. And we get a timeout from Dimes. Don't hate it, but could cost you. I do think, though, that timeout, it's good if you think you can get a good play out there. It's a good timeout. It's worth it. Let's go. Speed out. Curl. Okay. The curl's probably going to be snapped. Oh, seam. Boom. Wow. Easy. And massive. Massive, massive, massive play right there. And it's just That's not game. Because again, it's a 5-point game. You can get the ball back down 8, but it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be very, very tough. And we gotta assume duo right here. Gotta assume duo. Timeout from, I want to say that was actually kind of a bad timeout, was it not? Yeah, so clock's ticking. Dimes doesn't like something, and he calls a timeout with like 7 seconds. He could have milked at least another 7. And that, if Dior's gonna come back and win this game, tie this game up, whatever it is, it's gonna come down to the final seconds, right? So leaving 7 seconds left when there's a minute 8 is like, that's tough. Especially because I think he's just gonna call duo anyways, or he should. Maybe he goes inside zone or something. Let's see. Goes duo, gets blown up. Timeout from Dior now. Dior in a situation where if he can get stop, he can get the ball back with about 55 left, down 8. And Couch 125, field goals are not guaranteed, and we're on the right wide hash right here. So, and it's looking like there's actually a chance that Dime's going to pass the ball. If he passes, that'd be beautiful for Dior, potentially. Now he's going to go to the duo. And cut it in. Good tackle. Gained a lot back. I very much think, some people, this situation, you go for the dagger, right? First down from a pass play, ends the game. I think all things considered, assuming you're confident in kicking the field goal, of course, I think you run this ball. Take his final timeout, make him drive with 55 seconds left, score, and then get the 2. I think that's what you do 100%. Don't risk passing and letting him keep a timeout. And the duo gets him down to a 4th and 2. There's a little bit part of you that's like, dude, do I go for this? I don't think there's a world where you go for it, honestly. You make Dior drive down the field, go get 8 points. I think I get the temptation right here to go for it because you just end the game. But if you make this field goal, you can't lose in regulation. And it would take a very, especially with how Dior's played offense, just not very well, it would take quite the defensive collapse for you to give up the touchdown and give up 2, right? And give up 2. So Dior takes kind of a big hit on the sideline, only gets back to the 19, left hash, 53 seconds, no timeouts, and Dior right here, I remember watching this live, he dials one up, straight up. He dials one up. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, if you played this game at all back in August and July, you saw this play a billion times. Reverse flea flicker, dude. I'll say this. He set this play up very well because this is this low-key like a predictable play. Because everyone's seen this play. It's in every YouTube video ever. People have ran this play a ton this year. He sets it up, though, with a little motion. Right? Something that a lot of people didn't do. I'll be honest, I did not see this coming. That motion threw me off. When I saw him hand the ball off, I'm like, no, don't run. Great play. Genuinely a great play. And just like that, he scores. This is why you got to fight, dude. Because I don't think Dior's played great in offense this game. And he's now a singular play away from tying this game up with 42 seconds left. Let's go. He audibles into the gun Y trips. Cam Newton, guy have contains on the field. No contains. He could roll out. He's looking for the curl. He just drops it. I mean, I like I don't hate the play. I don't hate the play. I don't hate the throw. Right? If you're going to score in this situation. So there's 2 throws I think you could potentially make. If this guy's running across the back of the end zone, high ball. You can high ball over this guy, potentially. I don't hate this, though. Especially given the situation. Like, you get your hands on it. You just need him to catch it in traffic. Like, you just need him to catch it in traffic. It's a good pass lead. He drops it. And it's going to come down to an onside kick that he does not get. I skipped over. I'm sorry. We can see how the onside kick went. Yeah, let's see. Onside. Picked up by Dimes. Dimes goes down. And that's going to be GG's. Dimes ends up winning. Genuinely, really, I thought that was one of the better games I've gotten to see in a tournament. If you guys enjoyed this, you want to get better at College Football 25, check out my website, civil.gg. You can use code CIVIL30 for 30% off and join over 1,000 active members just like yourself, 95% of whom say after joining Civil GG, they have won more games in College Football 25. When we do works, we have the best schemes in the world over there. And the guy who won this tournament, he dropped all of his stuff over there too. So it's not just my stuff over there. All right, boys, I'll see you there.